Most people who are struggling to lose weight are doing something tonight that is quietly undoing everything they did right today. Not a big thing, not something obvious. Something so normal, so woven into the fabric of a typical evening, that it never even registers as a problem. They do it while watching television. They do it while scrolling their phone. They do it while winding down after a long day. And the research on what this one evening habit does to your hormones, your metabolism, your sleep quality, and your fat storage patterns overnight is something that most mainstream health content has never fully explained. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what it is, exactly why it works against you at a biological level, and exactly what to replace it with to turn your evenings from a fat-storing environment into a fat-burning one. This is the Vitality Code, where we take the science that actually matters for your health and make it clear, practical, and genuinely useful. If that is what you are here for, hit that like button and subscribe right now because we release new videos every single week, and this community keeps growing because the information actually changes people's lives. Now let us get into this because what I'm about to tell you is going to make you think very differently about what happens in your body after the sun goes down. Before I tell you what the habit is, I want to set up the biology of your evening in a way that most people have never heard explained. Because understanding what your body is designed to do between 7 and 10 at night makes the problem immediately obvious once you see it. As the sun sets and natural light fades, your body begins a carefully orchestrated hormonal transition that has been running on the same biological clock for hundreds of thousands of years. Melatonin begins to rise, signaling that sleep is approaching. Core body temperature starts to drop, which is a primary trigger for sleep onset. Insulin sensitivity begins to decline, meaning your body becomes less efficient at processing carbohydrates and more likely to store them as fat. Growth hormone, which is your primary fat-burning and muscle-preserving hormone, begins to build toward the large pulse that gets released during the first few hours of deep sleep. Your digestive system slows. Your liver shifts into repair and detoxification mode. Your entire physiology is preparing to do something extraordinary overnight. And the habit I am about to tell you about interferes with almost every single one of these processes simultaneously. The habit is late-night snacking, but not in the simple way that most people think about it, which is just extra calories. The damage goes far deeper than that. And understanding the specific biological mechanisms will change the way you think about your kitchen after 8 o'clock permanently. Let us start with insulin, because this is the most direct and most significant pathway through which late-night eating drives fat storage. Your body's insulin sensitivity follows a predictable daily rhythm driven by your circadian clock. In the morning and early afternoon, your cells are highly sensitive to insulin, meaning a small amount of insulin can efficiently move glucose from your bloodstream into your cells where it gets used for energy. But as the evening progresses, the sensitivity drops significantly. Research published in the journal Diabetes Care found that the same meal consumed at 8 in the evening produced a blood sugar response that was significantly higher and a fat storage response that was significantly greater than the identical meal consumed at noon. Same food, same portion. Completely different metabolic outcome based purely on the time of day it was eaten. Your evening body is simply not equipped to handle carbohydrates and sugar the way your daytime body is. And when you eat them anyway, the excess glucose that cannot be efficiently processed gets converted to fat, preferentially stored in the visceral area around your organs, and locked away by the elevated insulin that follows. But here's what most people do not realize. The problem is not just about the calories or even the carbohydrates. It is about what late eating does to your growth hormone. Growth hormone is one of the most powerful fat-burning compounds your body produces. It signals fat cells to release stored fat into your bloodstream to be used as energy. It preserves muscle mass during a calorie deficit, and it drives cellular repair and regeneration overnight. The largest pulse of growth hormone that your body releases in any 24-hour period happens during the first 1 to 2 hours of deep sleep, specifically during the slow-wave sleep stages. But here's the critical piece that most people have never heard. Growth hormone release is directly suppressed by insulin. When insulin levels are elevated, growth hormone cannot be released effectively. And when you eat a late-night snack, particularly one that contains carbohydrates or sugar, you raise your insulin levels at the exact time your body needs them to be falling so that growth hormone can do its overnight work. You are essentially blocking your body's most powerful natural fat-burning window with a bowl of cereal or a handful of crackers that you barely even tasted. This is where things get interesting, because the research on late-night eating and weight gain goes beyond hormones in a way that surprised even the scientists who were studying it. A study from the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston that was published in the journal Cell Metabolism directly compared early eaters and late eaters in a controlled setting, where calorie intake, meal composition, physical activity, and sleep duration were identical between the groups. The only variable was the timing of meals. The late eaters burned fewer calories at rest. They had higher levels of the hunger hormone ghrelin and lower levels of the fullness hormone leptin throughout the day. They reported significantly more hunger and appetite, and their fat tissue showed increased expression of genes associated with fat storage and decreased expression of genes associated with fat breakdown. Same calories, same food, same activity. But eating later in the day produced a fundamentally different biological environment that was measurably biased toward fat storage and away from fat burning. The scientists concluded that meal timing is an independent variable in weight regulation, separate from and in addition to calorie quantity and quality. That is not even the most important part, because late-night snacking does something to your sleep architecture that creates a problem that extends far beyond the night itself and into the following day and beyond. When you eat within 2 to 3 hours of going to bed, your digestive system has to remain active during a period when your body is trying to shift into deep sleep mode. Your core body temperature, which needs to drop for deep sleep to occur, stays slightly elevated due to the heat generated by digestion. Your insulin levels remain elevated, suppressing the growth hormone pulse. And your brain, receiving signals from digestive hormones that food is still being processed, has difficulty fully transitioning into the slow-wave sleep stages where the most important metabolic restoration happens. Research has shown that eating close to bedtime reduces the percentage of time spent in slow-wave deep sleep, which reduces growth hormone release, which impairs overnight fat metabolism, which leaves you waking up the next morning with slightly higher cortisol, slightly more hunger, and a slightly stronger drive toward high-calorie food choices. One late-night snack does not just affect that night. It sets up a hormonal cascade that influences the following day. And if the pattern repeats night after night, which it almost always does because it is a habit, the compounding effect on body composition over weeks and months is significant. Now here is something that will surprise you. The majority of late-night snacking is not driven by actual hunger. Research from the University of Pennsylvania found that the hormone-driven desire to eat in the evening peaks between 8 and 11 at night regardless of when or how much a person ate during the day. This is not your stomach asking for fuel. It is your reward circuitry, driven by dopamine, responding to the cues of your evening environment. The couch, the television, the familiar ritual of an evening snack. Your brain has learned to associate these cues with the pleasure of eating, and it produces the sensation of hunger in response to the cue rather than in response to genuine caloric need. This is why you can eat a perfectly adequate dinner and still feel like you want something sweet or crunchy 2 hours later. It is a conditioned craving, not a nutritional requirement. And understanding that distinction is the first step to breaking the pattern. So, what do you actually do? The research points to several specific strategies that address the biological and psychological drivers simultaneously. The first is establishing a kitchen closed time. Research on time-restricted eating consistently shows that simply deciding that the kitchen closes at a specific hour, ideally between 7 and 8 in the evening for most people, and holding to that decision removes the ongoing decision-making that willpower has to manage. You are not deciding whether to snack every time you feel the urge. You have made one decision that applies every evening. The urge arises. The kitchen is closed. Decision already made. Studies on time-restricted eating have found that people who stop eating by 8 in the evening naturally consume fewer total calories, have lower fasting insulin levels, and show measurable improvements in body composition over 8 to 12 weeks without making any other dietary changes. The second strategy is addressing the evening cortisol elevation that drives emotional and stress-related late-night eating in many people. Your evening cortisol is influenced significantly by how you spend the 2 to 3 hours before bed. Screen exposure, particularly to the short-wavelength blue light emitted by phones and televisions, suppresses melatonin and keeps cortisol elevated beyond its natural decline window. Stress-inducing content, news, social media comparisons, work emails, activates your sympathetic nervous system and drives cortisol higher. And elevated evening cortisol increases appetite, specifically for high-calorie, high-sugar foods, through its direct effects on ghrelin and the brain's reward circuitry. Reducing screen exposure after 8, replacing it with something genuinely restful, and ensuring that your evening environment sends safety signals rather than stress signals to your nervous system is not just good sleep hygiene. It is a metabolic intervention. The third strategy is making sure your dinner is built to actually satisfy you rather than leaving you nutritionally incomplete 2 hours later. Meals that are high in protein and fiber create significantly longer-lasting satiety than meals dominated by refined carbohydrates. If your dinner leaves you genuinely hungry 2 hours later, the problem may not be the snacking. It may be what you are eating at dinner. A dinner anchored by a substantial protein source accompanied by fiber-rich vegetables and some healthy fat keeps hunger hormones suppressed for significantly longer and reduces the biological drive to seek additional food in the evening. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you a late-night snacker? And if you are, what is the food that gets you almost every time? I read every comment, and knowing what people are actually dealing with helps me make better content for this community. And if you know someone who has been doing everything right during the day and wondering why the results are not coming, share this video with them, because the answer might be sitting in their kitchen at 9:30 at night. Your body works for you all night long, repairing, burning fat, restoring hormones, rebuilding tissue. All it needs is for you to get out of its way. Close the kitchen, let it do its job, and wake up to a body that has been working for you while you slept.